Hey everyone, welcome to the podcast. I'm actually going to have Joseph Sardella on this podcast, and we're going to be talking about real estate. He has a bunch of experience with real estate and actually the tech industry. So, by all means, here he is.
Hey Sam, nice to talk to you.
Yeah, for sure. So, we're actually got you into real estate.
My path has been one that has kind of been given to me through a young age. So I have family that has been in the business for a long time. My dad did a lot of flips while I was growing up out here in the Coachella Valley. My mom was a real estate agent. My stepmom's a real estate agent. My sister's in the industry as well too, more on the corporate side of things. And so it was just kind of a natural progression for me, really, to get into real estate. I was always interested in technology as a kid and developed a lot of skills in that area. Ended up working for Apple Retail for a while when I was in 19 to I think 21 and learned a lot of stuff there, transitioned into my own business and working with startups. And so always had real estate though in the back of my mind, seeing kind of like the flips and stuff happen as a kid. So yeah, it was kind of something that I always thought, I wanted to come back to. And I don't know who it was, if it was Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or somebody of that stature. But growing up, I always took to heart that if you can take tech into an industry, whether it's real estate, medical, um, film, really anything, you can make a lot of money and you can change the industry and change lives. And so getting to kind of see that happen in technology through the 90s and the early 2000s, it was just such a big influence growing up in my timeline. So that's kind of where I probably was most inspired by tech and where I was most inspired to get into real estate.
Oh, that's awesome. What got you into tech in the first place?
I just always was fascinated with computers and playing video games and that kind of stuff as a kid. And so learning how to, plug in different consoles and download different, hacks for games and that kind of stuff, always made me fascinated with technology as a kid. And people around me could see that. And I was able to grow confidence with those skills. And so as that confidence kind of grew, it was a natural progression to gravitate towards it.
That's awesome. So, how do you think the whole tech background has actually shaped your real estate career today?
Well, so to be honest with you, I actually, when I got into real estate, had kind of like a coming to Jesus moment in the sense that um, I, of course, immediately thought of all of the things that I could do with technology in the real estate space and started getting all of these ideas about what other agents weren't doing that I wanted to do and how I wanted to be different. Um, but then I kind of took a step back and I realized, well, hold on now. These guys have been doing real estate for a long time. They've been very successful without any of the ideas that I have with technology. Um, I need to actually just make myself a student and I need to learn traditional marketing methods like door knocking, like cold calling, all of the above, really, that is standard practice as a real estate agent. And so I made a promise to myself for that, the first really like first 5 years, I was going to just try to put technology on the back burner and just really hit the ground running with door knocking and cold calling and those types of practices. And it's been a great learning process for me. It's been great for my business as well too. And developing as a real estate agent has made some of those ideas that I had in the beginning a little ancillary, but also some of them really bold. And now I have a new perspective on how to accomplish even better ideas than I was thinking of initially. So I saved myself, I think, a lot of energy by kind of going the old fashioned way first, learning that route, and now rediscovering technology and how I can use it in the real estate space.
Yeah, for sure. That's good that you were able to step back and see what works and what doesn't work. And you tried all the different methods that worked for other agents. It's interesting. So when it actually comes to the biggest challenges you face, like what are they, and actually how have you overcome them?
Well, so I really got my license in 2019, which was a really crazy time to kind of get your license because we obviously had COVID, which was just a bunch of different hiccups in the industry. And then we had our boom of 2021 and 2022. And then we had the decline, the swift decline really of 2023 and 2024, where we're at currently right now. And but I'm seeing real optimism in the market, even with kind of the bad news on rates the other day. Still, I'm seeing optimism in the people and also in other facets of the economy as well too. That just tells me, the real estate industry, the lenders, everybody, we just need to get our ducks in line, and real estate will be right behind crypto, right behind stocks, next in line to really explode.
Yeah, that's awesome, and definitely going to be an exciting year for 2025. So, what kind of unique trends or opportunities are actually seeing in the Coachella Valley where you're at for real estate?
Well, for buyers, I see it as kind of a unique time where you can kind of pick your pleasure here. We have some absolutely fantastic mid-century modern homes. We're one of the capitals of the world for mid-century modern. And I was just doing an open house the other day, and there was not too much of a profit margin from what it looked like to me for what the developer actually bought it at, and is what he's selling it at. So, I mean, when you kind of take that into perspective, it's a fantastic time to buy. Buyers are getting more in negotiations. They're getting more options of homes. I remember just a couple years ago, we had 500 listings at one point in the Coachella Valley, which is nothing. I mean, that is absolutely nothing. Now we're probably over 2,000. So I mean, we're looking at four times the homes on the market, and it's a great time really to be a buyer. It obviously, there are problems with payments and interest rates, and it's really a great time to be a cash buyer. But still, if you can have the right agent who can help you negotiate, maybe getting some of those rates down a little bit, and some concessions from the sellers, it's a great time to be a buyer. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. And we were talking about earlier before this podcast that you're trying to target people in the colder region to actually move to the warmer Coachella area where it's very warm, very hot, honestly, in the summer, but it's very doable. And so, can you actually walk us through your approach through targeting and building those relationships?
Well, networking is huge, right? So you've got to be able to network with the current. So here in the Coachella Valley, we have a lot of current residents who are from those areas. We're a massive second home market. So I mean, some of the most popular areas are going to be Canada and Seattle, where a lot of our residents have primary homes. And so networking with those individuals helps a lot when it comes to targeting out of market buyers, and it's really huge for our market because we're seeing that is the biggest pool of buyers still that are coming into the Coachella Valley. So building those relationships, getting out and handing out your business cards and talking to people, it's old fashioned, but it works. It really does.
Yes, definitely. So, how do you actually balance the old fashioned route with the new modern age with the social media and everything like that?
Well, you have to be able to schedule your time, which is way easier said than done, right? It's very easy to get a phone call and very quickly in the moment, needing to rush to solve and put out the fire of the moment. But being able to make little notes to myself has been huge. I'll write a little note to myself as to what I was actually doing beforehand. I know this is kind of cheating when I answer it, but AI too has been fantastic in being able to help me kind of manage my workflow as well as so many other tasks as well too. So, but yeah, just staying on top of knowing yourself, knowing how I'm going to get distracted by taking this call and how I can get back on track. Really helps.
Yeah, 100%. And it's never been easier, honestly, with AI and everything. It's super easy to automate pretty much a lot of things. So, how do you actually think that technology will actually change the way that real estate agents operate in the next few years?
Yeah, so I mean, we're going to have a lot of changes in the government happen, and some of the people that are involved, specifically like Elon Musk. One of the first things he said was go after the Financial Protection Bureau, right? And which is one of the regulating agencies for mortgage. And so, I think that we're going to be seeing a lot of changes, and it's hard to really know exactly what's going to happen. But technology trends, right? I mean, obviously, blockchain is really going to be huge for the real estate industry. Things like title, I've always believed, can be pushed out to blockchain, and we're going to see buyers and sellers saving a lot of money throughout that entire process, and things just kind of changing for that industry as a whole. And I mean, there's so many other applications of it too that really I think are going to be much bigger for real estate than a lot of professionals realize right now.
Oh, 100%. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out in the next few years, especially with Elon Musk and everything going after that.
Mhm.
But what is like one best piece of advice you would give to real estate agents today, or like people getting into the industry?
Oh man, I would really recommend people get your license younger. Get your license young and learn the old-fashioned way. Don't be afraid to get out there and knock on doors. That was probably some of the most liberating sales that I ever had were door knocking sales. And being able to make that connection for your buyers is absolutely huge. And it really gives you the confidence you need to call yourself a professional. And so, yeah, and really, you can't started too young in this business. I thought um, before I was ever in real estate that it was kind of something you did after you retired, or some of those thoughts, and it's just the furthest thing from the truth. Our team leader, I'm with EXP, and our team leader is 23 years old, and he absolutely crushes it. I bought a Corvette, is just absolutely killing it. And I'm thinking to myself, had I gotten into the industry at a high school, where I would be today if that happened. So, specifically to the younger part of your audience, get into real estate. I mean, it is so valuable. Let me ask the audience a question. What career can you get into where you can make multiple six figures, really in the span of a few years, I would say. I mean, really, some of the best careers, like being a doctor or a lawyer, you're talking about something that takes years and years and so much studying and discipline to get into. And real estate takes a lot of studying and practice as well too. And it's not just about passing your license. There's a whole art to being a real estate agent, and getting your license and starting young is probably the biggest advice I could give to somebody who's thinking about doing it.
Oh, 100%. Younger definitely helps, and being consistent with everything is definitely a key part to all of that. So when it actually comes to making the sale and building those relationships, how's that? What's the best way you go about it, and making sure that they refer you and everything like that?
Knowledge. You have to have knowledge about everything, about the property, about the neighborhood, about the subdivisions, about the disclosures. You need to stay on top of your knowledge and always be going the extra mile. Always be going the extra mile. Always be um, trying to add value wherever you can, and carry your business forward with an open heart. I think that disclosure, 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 honesty is always the best policy, and be as upfront with your clients as possible, even to the point of self detriment, right? Because it's not worth it to not be fully honest all the time. The referrals that you can get, the loyalty that you will build with people, is honestly the most important currency in real estate, because you might be able to close that transaction and make a good commission, and do it by maybe rewording a couple things here or there or something like that. But I'm telling you, when you are honest at the top of your heart to people, and you disclose and put out fires left and right, people are going to bend over backwards for you. Your clients are the people who really care about you. Your friends are always looking for favors, right? That's why they're your friends. But your clients are the people who are really going to appreciate you and really go the extra mile for you, just the way you went the extra mile for them. They'll remember it and they'll return it right back.
Yeah, 100%. And being vulnerable definitely helps build that relationship and everything, such as getting referrals down the line as well. Well, I appreciate having you on. It was great talking to you. Is there anything else you would like to state before the podcast ends?
Well, Sam, thank you so much for having me on your show. I really appreciate it. My website, just for people, is jpsrealtor.com. You can follow me on LinkedIn or Facebook. If you guys are looking to buy a vacation home in the Coachella Valley, I'd love to be able to help you guys out. If you're an agent in Seattle, Montana, Colorado, Canada, I would love to build a referral business with you. As I said earlier in the call, that's where a lot of our buyers come from. And why not work together? I would love to build those relationships with those agents. And again, thank you so much for having me on the show. I really do appreciate your time.
Yeah, you're welcome. And thank you for your time. And to everyone watching, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.